Dana Zara Tamja, the Lama Laba Laya Jesus. Lawson Yonde Jamson, Alawa, and Dendra Tonjin, Bagel, Zor, Tenjin, Saba, Lama, Jija, Koson, Dojas in Landa. Dagger Jola and Buddha, Dagger Dimba, Danson, Jaja, Don Jajin, Wonder, Barzin, Jala, the so. Tenita Terrain Lama Timba, Ticoni, Yori. Ta Lama the Tin de Yurington, Ticoni Junze, Huna, Samsung. Tene ta Soso Jertan Gata Lama Tan, Tu ta Namba Gund. Java me ba tin ya ke karba yuna le dan karba zambo tenda yuna pe mesi ba ya bo ri yin na yang so so la lama ti dangwa dang teni nyam ta to pa so so su ju la jewar si pa la teni ta chik de jun ring bo che tin go ba ke ngi pa yo maris.
Okay, so I apologize, everyone, for that technical difficulty. But going back to where we left off, which was this discussion about relying on the teacher, relying on one's spiritual teacher. So there's also the time period during which one relies on one's teacher or the with regard to how long one should stay with one's spiritual teacher. Khenpo said he thought he would say a few words about this. So, of course, if one has the really extraordinary circumstance in which one is able to be close to one's teacher for a long time, if one has the karmic fortune and good karma to adhere to a lama in that way closely for over a long period of time, then this is really quite special. However, to be able, to having received the lama's fifth instructions, to be able to receive the fifth instructions and then give rise to experience and realization in one's mind stream as a result of relying on one's teacher, this does not necessitate being together with one's teacher necessarily for a long time.
Tabu Rinpoche ke malare patinya te ta logic khaye yore te ta chirtang ke dawa chuksum zama to tin yo mare teni dawa chuksum zam ge nang la teni ta tabu Rinpoche ke jibsim malare pa thukju ke yongdin yongso zomba teni tabu Rinpoche la top yore tega na yin ke choban jiktin sum jingombo te teni pamo dropa gumdun la teni chu ne dawa sumche soni zama to jong yo mari la ko yore yin yang
dawa gatse
sumche soni 32
so
yin yang pamo dropa ke tuju ge yongdin yongso zoba jib tarate rokong choban jiktin sum jingombo la Tobiore. Te Tobio Bajumsin de Teni Tarati Joban Jiktin Gomboke Churo Jeke Teni Joban Jiktin Sungula Sumbari Gang Sumbari Hubaina Churang Lama Junin Bohiratin Yomaris teni te sungkin de lama juring bondo ji ting do angko pa phamo ba do sun de teni choban ji tin sungon ke teni lama tin thong so sang ke samno ngala chawa ni ne me sorry kan sin ngala dangwa yong su ba ta nyam to ba ke yong tin yong su ba top song song wa re teni top ta la teni kong ke ta timba da simjin tamje la teni pinto 대하나 인게 군레게 다 냠당 짤 탐제 라타나티는 나랑서게 하고 요래 된대는데 다 라마 띵유 통통이네야 되는 소소게 대바당 당와 중르 되니 라마게 투지당 신랍단제 찍더 드여운데 되니 냠도 또 받아서 제 토크 요래
So, for example, in the case of Gampopa, Gampopa actually didn't remain with Milarepa for a terribly long time. He stayed with Milarepa for 13 months, and yet still in that short period of time, he was able to completely receive the entire transmission from Milarepa. He was able to fully receive all of Milarepa's pith instructions and the full transmission of all his wisdom and enlightened qualities in their entirety. Likewise, Kyopa Jigten Sumgun also didn't remain for such a long time with Pagmo Drupa either. He stayed with him for 32 months. And yet still, he also was able to receive the complete transmission of Pagmo Drupa's enlightened continuum with all of the qualities and instructions in their entirety, and was able to bring them to complete perfection in his own mind stream. And so at another time, one of the other students who had relied on Pagmo Drupa, who had stayed with Pagmo Drupa for a long time, commented to Jigten Sumgun. He said, "You haven't really been with the Lama, or you didn't spend a very long time with the Lama. It hadn't really been all that long." And Jigten Sumgun said, "I really don't look at it that way myself, because regardless of however much time I was able to spend in the presence of my guru, I received all of his blessings and pith instructions in their complete entirety, without anything lacking." And we can see this also from the example of Jigten Sumgun, where he, was able to benefit countless sentient beings, and he expressed all of the extraordinary qualities, enlightened qualities himself. And the reason why in these cases, in these examples where the student wasn't necessarily able to spend, or didn't need to spend a very long time with their spiritual teacher, it was because of their faith, their devotion, and their pure view, that they were able to fully receive all that was needed, and because of their diligence, that they were able to completely unite with the mind of their spiritual teacher and became indivisible.
Ta dendra lama geve hinite perna kamson kowa de jamso tabechi ina teni tinani ta phagar goyuna trana ro goyuna teni trotongkin ke khalowa tabete lama geve hinite chada yori teni ta trotabete kareri senata tewo ni heke yori
Drew Garere?
Drew labdu ngage ta kala bot lamare. Drew.
Rerere, hakuso. So in order to cross the great ocean of the three realms of cyclic existence, one needs a boat and who can ferry oneself across that great ocean. And so the one who is able to ferry oneself or ferry one across that ocean, or the captain of the boat, is the spiritual teacher.
Da tarput zeng domba tamsekte nyumung jiwang gihik de pangso. Da koa ne patarya ke zeng davte karerisina domba da tamsekris. Teni de da nyumung jiwang de hjorne nyumung ba gihik soina da hajam pangboris. 가이 세나테니 다 잠소는 사 네테니 타그 말와 잠소는 파
And so that which becomes the ferry, or that which becomes the boat itself, that takes one across the great ocean of cyclic existence, or samsara, are the three levels of vows. And so if one if one neglects the three levels of vows and does not, and therefore falls under the influence or under the power of the afflictive emotions, then one is not able to complete the journey across the great ocean.
Tene domba zondu tene nandung karere hubaina mege pale tene chor do ne tene gebechula tamchawa tela domba labre tene domba tela tene sotar ke domba janchu chimbe domba tene sangha ke domba tene sangha ke domba lamna sangha ke tamsek jikpa chade yore tendra ke yewa namba som yobare.
And so what is it then that we are referring to? And actually, I think what he just said then actually is the sixth line, or the sixth verse here, or the sixth category, which is vows. And so to read the text, vows and samaya are instrumental to achieve liberation, which is destroyed by our affliction, carelessness, and adverse conditions. So in that case, then they are a great loss to this human life. And then an alternate version would be the sixth cause of loss is the situation in which a practitioner impairs or destroys any or all of the three vows. And so to explain, sort of the inner meaning of the vows, so the vows, to uphold the vows, for instance, is to, how is it that we, for instance, avoid or reverse the wrongdoings of the 10 non-virtues? We do so by practicing or upholding the 10 virtues. And so that upholding of the 10 virtues is an act of maintaining the vows or upholding the vows. And then technically we have the three categories of vows, which are the Pratimoksha vows, or the vows of individual liberation, the Bodhichitta vows or Bodhisattva vows, and then the vows of secret mantra, which are the same as the samayas, so the secret mantra samayas.
Sotar hibade chitang kachanevena ta sotar kap ta macho sone mambo sungko yore macho hibade pa ka angku yore mampo che ka ang ko yore te ka andu chirtang ke ta perna luj go ne tene kare chog mari te tha ji na lam yung ko yore nga go ne kare lap chog yore kare lap chog yo mari is te tha ji ne so yung ko yore yi gi to ne tene kare tin chok yore kare tin chok yo mare cho mo cho hibate kare tin sona dikpare kare tin sona geware sin tene tha no jen counter che dikpa ka ti ba chate pa ka yong go yore ti chate la tin sotar go domba son.
So in the case of the Pratimoksha vows, so these are really dealing with kind of establishing the rules of proper conduct. They indicate, what is it that we are allowed to do, and what is it that we should not do, or should we, how should we behave, and how should we avoid behaving. And so there's a lot that is kind of prohibited, or a lot of it is based on indicating what it is that is to be avoided or prohibited. And then, so what is it from the perspective of the body, or through the door of the body, which ways in what ways should we behave, or what ways are we allowed to behave with the body, and in what ways should we avoid behaving, or what is prohibited, and what ways are prohibited to behave with the body. And likewise with speech, what is the way in which what type of speech we should engage in, and what type of speech is to be avoided. And likewise with the mind, what is a proper way, proper way of thinking, or types of attitude to hold in the mind, and what are the types of attitudes or ways of thinking that should be avoided. And these are based on what is identified as wholesome or virtue, and what is identified as non-wholesome or unwholesome or non-virtue. And this is really a kind of the function of the vows of individual liberation, or Pratimoksha vows.
Then sotar hibate teni nasisi yewa dun zam yore ti yewa dunbo te teni domba te yu linkin che kanza ke toni yewa siyan ko yobare teni te la domba manyong raw che ti toni yewa siyan ko yore teni ta sotak domba raw che ina ta lo chyo ni zonte teni sotak domba te hyocho ko yore so la thoko yore hina teni gelong domba ta beti ina so lo ni hyo ma domba ina hyo choko yo mare teni hyuba ina ya top kale khapo yore song yore teni chansem ore tambote hina.
And so there are 7 categories or divisions of Pratimoksha vows, or the vows of individual liberation. And these classifications or divisions of vows are based on the person who takes the vows. So the categories are based on the one who is taking the vows. And the vows are also, they go sort of from this fewer numbers of vows to greater numbers of vows. So they're also distinguished based on the numbers of vows that are taken. And for the like ordinary vows of individual liberation, one can take these as early as the age of 10, but then with the vows of full ordination, the full ordination vows, or Gelong vows, one is not able to take these until one has reached the age of 20. At least one has to be 20 or older. And then taking the vows, it is still difficult to it is difficult actually to receive the vows. Muscle.
Tani da gemni gdomba ina tani da kaduhudena chokore gemni hipatela tani na jik sungwa da nanga sungwa da tani na tamche sungwa da la so ba ge yawa nansi so yo ba re.
And then there are also the ways of the vows of the lay practitioner. And so there are different types of lay practitioner vows that can be taken. So one can take the temporary vows. One can take the vows and hold them for a single day or for a longer temporary period. And one can also take the vows. One can take one of the vows or several of the vows or all of the vows in their entirety. So there are some who hold the lay practitioner vows like the full entirety of the main set of vows.
Chirtang ke sotar ke domba nani da gelong da getsur tetsu domba yin yang yongs zoba te tene make the soso ke make na yin ke jiparan zine songo sonne ndrwa na dana songo yore
Ti kongta chik yapo koma sa.
Teni tara gelong da getsur ke domba te teni soso ke make na yin chine teni jipte chi go yori song go yori song dana songo yore.
That's all. So when one takes the novice, the vows of a novice monastic or the full monastic vows, then it is said that it is so important to guard those vows as cautiously as one would guard one's own eyes. So one has to take extreme caution to protect those vows as though they would protect their own eyes.
Teni da jirtang chani teni namba sanje bu chuke zawa dongbo tabte teni sotar ke domba la ra le de yore. Teni sotar ke domba de nangke teni ngarang so per na jamde domba yoba ni zonde teni ngarang so la sotar ke domba jirtang ding go yore. Tendu teni sanji chomdin de ke yin lan tsewa ne gebjong ma ino song teni ti nandong kare re hyoba yin na kong ke loma yin zonde yin lan tsewa ma nang si chorang zo yin lan non tse che de bai na teni kong ke loma yang taba chag mari sung je ndor na de re.
And so it is said that the kind of the door to all of the different levels of vows and the door to entry to the Buddha's teachings in general are through taking the vows of individual liberation, or they're dependent upon the entirety of the different levels of Buddha Dharma are dependent upon these vows of individual liberation, or the Pratimoksha vows, and the vows of refuge also fall into the category of the Pratimoksha vows. They are vows of individual liberation. And so, as the Buddha has said, that once one has taken the vows of refuge, or sort of the heart of the refuge vows is the practice of nonviolence, or the practice of non-harming. And so the Buddha has said, anyone who is my follower must never harm another being. If having become my follower or my student, if one harms another being, then one is not really my true follower.
Tani sanje chomdin de ka song ne rang sem ne yongsun dor song re dan dor na gang da gang domba song sendu socho ka sem den dor go yore song re sem den dor hi pa tonda kare sina nyumo ba da danjin le chol lo de tani chamba da chanchuk chamba da ninje ting ni tani nego yuri soneta rang sem yongsun dor zond te song yore.
And so likewise, the Buddha taught that the way in which the vows are protected are through completely subduing or completely taming one's own mind. So in what way is it that the mind is completely tamed? It is by diminishing or purifying or abandoning the afflictive emotions and the mind of self-clinging by applying or cultivating their opposites, which are the mind states of love and compassion. So through generating a mind of love and compassion, then the negative mind states that are fueled by the mind of self-clinging gradually diminish.
Tene da ngarang zo jamdu domba jula dimba kanza ina re gemni ke domba sotar ke domba hyogorwa gemni tang yamna getsor tang gelong karong ke domba jula dimba kanza ina re tene kanrando ina yang ngarang zo pe karwa zambo yin samgo gore ngarang zo ke domba tamche ke nang ke yongsu zo ba cha changba pu dabo song thoba de ha jang ke garchen bore yin le to cho nang ke na chik cham song thoba yin yang de la pin sam je ma cha ba yore de pin yo ba de nga ke daga cham la ya ba mai jo ban ji tin sung gung ke dam chu gong ba chik ba zu yore tin no song do Kare songdo sina na jik songwe dreve nyang de top songdo. Tek nandong kare re shuba ina na jik domba mambo yore ta bena gelong do ina gelong lo domba nija ngapchu ngaksum zam songya yorwa ta gemni da ta so chama la domba mambo songya yore ta to so nang ke na jik zam song ta ba ina yang Teni tartok sanje ju gomba togure songre.
And so to enter any of the levels of vows, whether taking the refuge vows or the vows of a lay practitioner or the novice monastic vows or the vows of a full ordination, however many of the vows in whichever level of the vows that one is able to enter is extraordinarily fortunate. It is an act of really tremendous merit. And so to fully hold all of the vows for whatever level of vows that one takes is very important. But even just holding a single vow for however long the duration of that vow is held results in inconceivable merit and benefit. So as Lord Jigden Sumgun says in the Gongchik, even just upholding a single vow, even for a temporary period of time, that single, whatever that single vow results in the full liberation and full awakening, or it goes toward the result of liberation and completely perfected Buddhahood. So there are many different vows. For instance, in the vows of full ordination consist of 253 vows, and then as one the vows of a lay practitioner, there are the main vows and the branch vows, and even if one just chooses to uphold one of those vows, then the merit of that is inconceivably vast.
ngaran sola chamde domba ni zonte sangha go domba part domba karong ji ngaran solo yu ni zonte tene ngaran so sanje ke te loma cha de yore sanga hibe te ke main de yobare tene main te ang pe sinlap chimbo ke main rwa jinlap chimbo jing ke main den tene ngaran so chama chamde domba yoba na zonte namba sanje pa cha de yore tani zon namba sanje pa chi yin zon te tani ngarang so ke chi yinu pangwa yinpin dbas te ngarang so ke lengin cha de yore te dashi gong shu pa na yi domba hi ba de damja re te ndu o tanga namba sanje pa chi yin tereni zon te tanga ke gang tup tup ke yinpin drop go gang tup tup ke yin no ba bang go san ya ke sam no de ngarang so ke semnang la den hi tin ne tanda nang tham na teni ta te ke lama give shi ni nam ba ke teni rewa na te ngarang so ke drop do ke yore sanje ke molam teang roku yore tikaps.
And so all of the different levels of vows, from the refuge vows all the way through the different levels of vows and secret mantra, if we enter whichever level of vows that we hold, from the moment that we take refuge, we become a disciple of the Buddha. We become a member of the Sangha. We actually hold the name Sangha. And that is a really tremendous blessing. To actually hold that name, Sangha, to be a part of the Sangha is such an honor. And so we actually become a Buddhist. We can call ourselves a Buddhist when we hold any of the levels of vows, once we have taken, for instance, the vows of refuge. And so as a Buddhist practitioner, as a member of the Sangha, then the practice of upholding those vows is to avoid harming any living being, to give up harming others, to avoid, to practice nonviolence, and to behave in such a way that causes benefit for others, to do whatever we can to create benefit, to help and benefit others. And so we can think of it in that way. We can think, I have a commitment. I am a Buddhist. I have become a Buddhist. And so therefore, it is my duty, my responsibility to uphold this way of behaving or practicing in the world. So to whatever extent that I am able, I must do whatever I can to benefit, to help and benefit others. And so this also is aided by maintaining mindful awareness. So through practicing mindful awareness, we avoid harming others, or we practice non-harming, and we practice creating benefit in the world, or we practice uphold the conduct of helping and benefiting other beings. And so if we can practice in such a way, then we're really fulfilling like the hope or wish of our spiritual teachers. Then we're really like accomplishing their aspiration prayers.
Tening ga che ge yang o Tanga domba de shopusa mari, the domba de nyamsona, tene dipa chimbondo, tenat langki mambo yonkandoa. When jena domba de shogore some going around the way. Yang Hutan domba de so mutaba de tindi yongo yorite, de shogore some goyore. The Jimson Garrison the net some turned over Shepa Mai. Joban Jitin Sum Jungombo Garrison do Shubaina. Nyam le matop nipa chevar he song. Domba churang take hude, pen a jump to domba tabijik. Domba in a yamana gimni domba no, take hude, tele gini tem nyam song a ten nipa cherry down. Yana chuk domba the tin mataba in the ten nipa cherry sebaina. Chuk domba the tin mataba in the nipa cherry song. They tell a page yayo that a bed and not timbaji song. Gomba Mansang.
So sometimes there are some who feel afraid to take vows. They feel like they don't want to take vows because they're worried that they might not be able to keep them, and so they think, well, then it would be better not to take the vow if I'm not able to keep it. If I'm not able to keep it, then that will really be a heavy negativity. But actually, it is not. It doesn't work that way. It's really, if there's the opportunity to take vows, then one should take the vows. It's very advisable to take vows if the opportunity is there. And why is this so? Because, for instance, as Lord Jigten Sumgun says, it is better to take the vows and break them than to have never taken the vows at all. And so if we think if I take the vow, then if I break it, then that will be, really, or if I'm not able to uphold the vow or keep the vow, then that will be like a much greater non-virtue than than not having taken the vow. But actually it is the opposite. If it is better to take the vow, if, for instance, you take the vows of a lay practitioner, and then at some point you're not able to continue to hold whichever of the vows, still throughout that period in which you held the vow, it was a tremendous accumulation of merit. So the virtue of taking the vow is so great that if one doesn't take the vow, that is a greater, to begin with, and that is a greater fault. And actually, Khenpo said there's an example that illustrates this, but he doesn't remember it at this moment. La? So he's sorry, he's just joking. Never mind. He said he didn't come up with a nice example.
Teni zone some teni zone de teni domba yinda tamji nami jin do te ninke yo mare ngaran zo songza jitin sungu ge na ji sungwen rebe nyang de top sonya de rin do le de ndu je gache top top ge ji song na pe ya bo yo re na ji ni domba de la parche jungwa ina ya yinda de gache top top ge ne song top ta go yo re teni domba chik la parche sona te chama me devando cheta me tatang la ten ro chihindo te ko tatang la te ndroat so ke tayip ke nyamnyong do ta lalin do to so ha mao le ma to ke ti ta tang ro so chi tang te sa non ro min na pa chen no ho yo re sam.
So also in Tibet, for instance, sometimes there's like a line of thinking like, so for instance, if one of the vows, if one ends up allowing one or transgressing one of their vows, then they say, oh, well, I already, I lost this vow. And so then they kind of throw all of the vows away because since they weren't able to keep one of them, then they feel like somehow that has spoiled all of the vows. And so then they no longer pay attention to any of the vows. But actually, this is really the wrong way to think about it. Just as Jigden Sumgun said, to hold even a single vow results in enlightenment or becomes the cause for attaining enlightenment. And so even if there's an obstacle that arises that causes an infraction or some level of deterioration with regard to one of the vows, one still should make every effort to uphold and protect the other vows. It doesn't cause the other vows to become wasted in any way. Deni doa laglin la chik song song di apokoma song kongta.
他的说ndorwa的说去战机打呢落中结巴呢你打当的说了你让罗西巴的哇
他gari ke wa
ndorwa la 落中结巴呢你打当就错个打当有了就错个么这东巴的那这的学生呢你就错个么的这东巴米巴里上打当都有了的打当的样 non do yores te matela domba yinda yo choro.
And so if one studies the Vinaya in great detail, then one's view will really change with regard to this. Because, for instance, if we think about, generally there's kind of when one hasn't really studied the Vinaya in this way, then there's like an oversimplification with regard to the vows. So if one vow isn't kept, then we have the thought like, oh, that person doesn't hold the vows, or that person isn't properly holding the vows, or they've lost their vows, they're without the vows. But actually, that's not the right way to look at it, because there are so many vows and so many nuances within each of the vows. And so, again, as long as a single vow is upheld, then that person possesses the vows, and that single maintaining or upholding that single vow becomes the cause for a great generation of virtue and merit.
Dura yurdu tang tun songre yurda tule tun yang tesan nangwa yusa yore perna nguma jagal dawayina teni gelong tang getsort soke pudong jin gong cho yo mare dura nana yin yang pula yang gong cho yore gans na namhi te yolo tu sonra teni namhi le tine namhi trodana tine teni tu na wala te ba ina perna buni chopa khake yarkan cho ndu teni pudong jin gong cho yo mare tonga gong na go yore chamak
Pudong sana jacket drawer?
Pudong love the silly sure I forget then what is called pudong ji the pudong love the tumbo da te pong ha chama ma tum ya gong ya jin do silly Maria sorry that's silly
Sleeves. Long sleeves, maybe.
Oh, so.
That's all. Tini?
Tini jagani na te gong chogo yo mari ngima. Puni gong chore. Te yolo tu pare yor bu ku yorte namhi tramu jaga yorte namhi tsaware yang bu ni yang de yarka yang azo de puja to so yora tikapso gon chok yo mare kan sin namhi te sa dro wa yarka to su de la gunka yang namhi tramu lo puja yo na yang de du yang gon chok yo re tanda ke chepan ro yo re to so yang do wa ke yorte tul tin na wa yo re teni de so ha ko go re yang.
So actually, the Vinaya was taught in such a way that it was taught that the Vinaya should be practiced and upheld according to the customs and norms of the time and place. And so, for instance, before in India, fully ordained monks were not allowed to wear like long sleeve shirts. And of course, this made sense. In India, it is fine because the weather is warm there. But in Tibet, because the weather is very cold, then this ended up, of course, then it became permissible to wear long sleeve shirts with one's robes because the weather was cold. The weather in Tibet is cold. But still, for instance, so in India, it isn't needed. And so in India, then it became, it's in the Vinaya taught that a fully ordained monk is not to wear long sleeve shirts. But in Tibet, for instance, during puja, when in the summer, then it is still kept as a rule to not wear a long sleeve shirt because it is, in that case, it is warm and then it becomes unnecessary. And so this is just an example of how the rules of the Vinaya are adaptable to the time and the place.
Tani droa ta yorta tula tundu yang perna sacha khaye la ta tara soso la ji gel gemni ta tani getso la super domba yosa mara ne nanki mara ne tani soso ga rang tani gemni ke domba to chapsang song ne tanda song du kin do ngene tan ngarang do na te so mambo ke koran su tanda song ko yu la do pe jisi rang hyo go ya re sha te koran su ngoni domba se ke hyunyon yo mare ta cham domba yo ri ma do ke yinda domba hyunyon yo mare te yin yang ko so ke traba ta chikba chikjang ke domba chaptang song ne tanda sungkin do metse kanjang la sung yin lam ne tanda langkin do te sung ne ta ne jis yarang hyo yo ba res.
And so then there are some places and situations in which people, may wish to take vows, like the vows of a lay practitioner or the novice, or the novice monastic vows, or the vows of full ordination, but there are not the conditions or circumstances in which the vows can be given. There isn't anyone, for instance, to offer the vows, but then still there are some who, because of their deep interest and wish to uphold the vows, they hold them anyway, and that is really something worthy of rejoicing. That is really wonderful. Khenpo says he really rejoices. And even though there is no one from whom one can receive the vows, there are some who say, for instance, they have taken refuge, but then they hold the exact same vows that like a monk or a nun holds, even though they haven't fully been through the ceremony of receiving the vows. And that is really something to rejoice in.
Tani da na sotak domba hyutsine da janchu sumba domba tere 장초 simba domba kapsu ta yi gang na hyuba na yi sotar kapsu pa mambo ka ke yores 장초 simba domba la yang ka hi chur lin choba yore te lin ya de randun de langsong ai na de ni de 장초 simba domba de yang da cha ke yo ma yin dong de de ni yang ta hi sotar kapsu pa ka ya bang ga hi chur lin choba de na sung ba yore 드니 성장 소탈가 드니 장성가 절대서 린초바 된다 요리.
So we have the individual liberation, the vows of individual liberation, and then there are the bodhicitta vows or bodhisattva vows. And it can be the case in some instances where the vows of individual liberation can be transgressed for the purpose of upholding the bodhisattva vows, for the purpose of benefiting sentient beings. However, if in sort of the name of the bodhisattva vows, one does this, but really for one's own benefit, then when that's really the motivating factor, then that ends up actually becoming a downfall to both the vows of individual liberation and the bodhisattva vows. So that is not upholding like the perfect conduct of the bodhisattva vows. It has to be, if such an exception is made, it has to be entirely and completely with the welfare and benefit of others in mind. And then in that case, there can be occasions where the bodhisattva vows override some of the vows of individual liberation, or some of the vows of individual liberation are transgressed or not practiced with the intention to uphold the bodhisattva vows.
Tene 장초 simba domba de hirabji parar de simba nang to kare song yore hyubaina semji bane yindong reis di nandong kare hyubaina 장초 jude semji ba de yin tamje ke dong de reis 양다 조버스 장촌도스 때 어나 잉동 가리 레스나 인 심진 담제 산제 공방터야 그치도 담제 야바 데라 장초스 domba 슈고요레.
So also in the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras, it says the Bodhichitta, the mind of Bodhichitta and the vows of Bodhichitta are for the benefit, are that which accomplishes the benefit of others. And this alone results in the full and perfected, the fully perfected state of awakening.
Tene mumba janchuk simji jukpa janchuk simji sin munjuk ni tela yawa ni yore tenange da mumba simji hyondu tene ngarang zo kulhong ke chane tene samba zambo simji yomba tela mumba simji is tela pe kare ya yore sin perna chorang sacha yin jelon ro go yuna 담보 로 상야 그 군홍진도 데라 데네 무바 장족 심지 셔요레 데네 죽바 장족 심지 현드 데네 저랑 대무스 락다르지바 락다르지 현드 데네 사찬 론도 사차들 무슨 로와 무슨 배저지는 로와 데는 죽바 심지 데는도 장족 심들라 나가니요레 딘 난게 다 담보 나랑 조이나 mumba janchuk semji sirjade pe karchimpa chada yore.
So there are the two categories of bodhicitta, the aspiration bodhicitta and application bodhicitta. And as is indicated by Shantideva in the Bodhicharya Avatara, he explains that the difference between the aspiration bodhicitta and application bodhicitta is that the aspiration bodhicitta is the intention, the wish to the wish, like the wish to go somewhere, for instance. So the difference between the wish to go somewhere and then to actually set out on the path and to travel there is the difference between the aspiration and the application. And so the aspiration is like the attitude of holding a pure mind that wishes to accomplish the benefit of others. And then the application bodhicitta is actually engaging in the activity that brings about the intent of that aspiration. So this is really important to understand this distinction.
Then Jancho Simba Dombate, Laparto, da Mumba Jancho Simji, de Maran Kulong de Juraton Yongori. De Kulong de Jachimbo. Jancho Sim de Soso la Jisonina, Sosu Sim de Deni Jachimbo, Deni Nankata Chan. Deni Sosu Sim de Jachimbo Nankata Chan and Teni take nekap soso randon la samno tamba yin yang teni kanga tang parche mambo chepa yin yang de soke teni soso la nun hyuk de mataba te jancho sung ge yong tin cha de yore ten de jancho ge sem zon de ko ran yin ge samno de ja chen bu hyo je cha ang ge yore.
And so when one cultivates this precious mind of bodhicitta, the aspiration bodhicitta, the result of cultivating that motivation, this such a pure intention, is that one's mind becomes very vast and expansive. One's mind naturally starts to expand. It becomes very expansive and vast, like space. And even though one is focused on the welfare and benefit of others, the natural product or the natural result is that one's own benefit is accomplished naturally, spontaneously, simultaneously through this intent. De barche mampo la karisumien kunta.
Barche to sola doni ji to.
Oh, lasso. And likewise, any obstacles that one confronts or that may arise on the path, one is able to embrace or to take, to accept on the path. And then this becomes the cause for generating or developing ever further the qualities of bodhicitta.
Tani tata maranzo la janjo ke sem de ju la jie yong na de jie yong ne jie yong bu kap so nga shi be tani nganzi yang men nga hi be dan zin yo wa de la ro yo res de la ro be jun sin ka wa tho res na maranzo janjo su sem jin de yin sim jin de yin de yong wa yin de nga la ya de ran yin ke ji yong yo res Teni nga hibate kechik zamla ji songa ina yang ji lamnari nganjin te mi songa ina te chu ke teni ngaran sola che susu ke donga te nyong ren ro thako yore.
So the result of when we cultivate bodhicitta, or however, to the degree to which we're able to strengthen this attitude of bodhicitta or develop this attitude of bodhicitta, then to that same degree, the mind that is the self-centered attitude, the mind of self-clinging, diminishes, or whenever there is the presence of the mind that is focused on the welfare and benefit of others, then there is the absence of self-clinging. By focusing on others, then one lets go of focus, like focusing on oneself. One releases the grasp of self-clinging. And so even in whatever moment that through this mind that is focused on the welfare and benefit of others, we release that, we forget about ourselves, or we release that clinging or self-interest, in that moment of release, or forever, whatever period in which we're free of that self-grasping, then there's no suffering. So as much as where we forget about self-interest, then to that same degree, the suffering diminishes.
And lama namba kete sunda janchuk sem de kantar tsewa janchuk sem de je undu de soso la che rawang raw tuguri son yangse song de yore ta sam ya bo tang de ngoyo ne chu cha de yore de gain sin na perna ngaran cho amala tsewa yore tama pacher jachak gup ko ga amala tsewa yore wa amala tsewa yode de soso aman dan ramla yoba kapso teni soso la rangi ka rawang raw ji tham hala ni mi pa raw ji cha da do gain sin na teni amate ramla yoba kapso teni soso la chi pen soso la kare na yang chi pa tin ta ba he ta ba rawang raw pe ja cha jan ja thom do teni ngoti na ngocho ngota ba gate in ge ta ba teni gacho kare na ko pa tin ta ba gain se tedi che ni mi de wan raw ji teni ama mayin ba ma yin ba jinyam do yo na che zap raw shu ji na go han raw ji ta teni ta an ji ni sin jin ba hi ba da ni mi ba hi ba de la teni che bar de pe chen bo yo ba teni ha go go do ba teni den tar tong de ga wa to sin zewa jancho ge sem so so ge jancho ge sem yu sa ge mo de nyam de de teni so so la pe rawang ro tham ne teni so so ge kare na je lap ta ba sim ro ta da ro je cha ya so cha ma teni jancho seng ge yong din cha ngo yo ra zewa ge yong din la ya de so chung chung nya sa no ta ma ina teni ha go ge ro
So also one of the benefits of cultivating bodhicitta is that, when one has love, when one has a loving mind, one really has freedom. One feels a sense of freedom. And this is really the case. So for instance, to give you an example, if you have a very good relationship with your mother, and you have a lot of love for your mother, there's a lot of love between you and your mother. And so it's almost like, you're so close and comfortable with your mother that you're almost inseparable. And so you're completely comfortable and completely at ease to sort of just be natural, to be yourself. And so whatever that comes up when you're together, if you need to cry, you just cry. If you laugh, if you feel moved to laugh, you just laugh. And there is no sense of pretense or a need to, be cautious of your reactions. And yet, when you're with someone who is not your mother, where there's not that same kind of a feeling of closeness and loving comfort, then there's this feeling of needing to be a little bit cautious, needing to be careful. And so this is a really kind of big difference. So in the sense that, and what it really comes down to is love. So if there is love and bodhicitta, then there's also complete freedom. There's like complete safety and freedom. So we can even think about the qualities of love in this way when it comes to sort of small examples too.
Tani da jancho ke sem kunzup jancho ke sem la lo jang du tani dondam jancho ke sem ke kompang tokore tendu kun jancho sem de la tani kunzup jancho ke sem da dondam jancho ke sem je yewani senang ko yore.
And then likewise, there are the two categories or classifications of which are the relative bodhicitta and then absolute bodhicitta. And it is through meditating upon or developing the relative bodhicitta that then eventually the ultimate bodhicitta is also developed. But initially there are these two categories or distinctions to be made.
Tani da damchik hibatela da dikabs de zo chihyu sangak domba te chado yore. Then sangak domba shibate be lap chimbo. Yang kapka su ninka chimbo. Tenranda wachi la samno tangna rige yore. Kain sina sanga de ngaranzo nyulam hyogo yore. Nyulam hyogo ya de celu jigla ngombar zo ba sangje ba tap yoba ke tanda ji chadu yore. Tanda yin zang sangha ke damsik de yapo sungju de garchimbo chadu yore. Tani sangha ke damsik de yapo sungba ina tani drebe lamsang ming taba tanda cha yong yore. Tani sangha ke damchik de tani ngarang sola da kantar sangha ke domba te hyo yong bakapso sangha ke domba te top yong bakapso tani ngarang so te yedam ko la tang ndarwa cha yong yore. Te yedam ko la tang ndarwa cha andu da ben ngarang so mata me parchin ndarwa na yi ndarwa cha andu tani ti ndralam te ta yapo song ko yore mato ke ten te so yapo masong ba ina yang kap so te nika chimbo yong ko yore.
So then there are the samayas, or the vows of secret mantra. And the secret mantra vows are like kind of particularly high stakes because it is through the secret mantra vows that this is considered the swift path, or the vows through which there is the potential to reach fully perfected awakening or reach the state of Buddhahood in a single body, in a single lifetime. And so it's very important to uphold the secret mantra samayas to the best of one's ability, to really uphold them well. And if they are upheld well, then the fruition is immediate. So the result or the fruition of upholding the samayas is really very swift or very immediate. So when we take the secret mantra vows, then we create a really like a very strong bond or connection with the Yidam deity. And then this is reflected, for instance, in so if there is some conflict that comes up between two people, then it's so important to to hold, to dispel that conflict through upholding the secret mantra vows.
Sangha ke domba de hyönde yang angranzo jirtang wang la so bat sukamni thom ro yore ta wang ye yore bawang sawang hirwang tsigwang ta so wang ya la so balatine sangha ke domba de thom yung yore ten ti ka so yung ba de teni yang cham chang angranzo de la wang de su ju ni teni yang angranzo ke dikpa xiapa la soba tamche yang wang hyone yang jar dikpa xiapa la soba yongko yore. Te ta kantar teni soso ke yedam la la tamche yapa te teni pu tabo songo yore. Ten zo chekyu te ke sangha ke domba labdua tang tsor de yang janchok samche domba na ndo yongko yore. 장초 생그 동반은 너연디 소소그 주라 제와 장초그 셈데 유니 종데 데니 소소라 예당고 라데 데니 뜻다 나바근데 소소 땅 린도 요데 바제 드라레 데니 장초그 셈데
이름라
예당고 라 예담 라 요르와
Rere te kongtate yapo komasong tene.
장초 그 셈데 요니 zonde 데니 소소 그 예당 콜라데 소소 그 셈단 린다 따바르 요데바 던다 차데 요레 셈당
일루라 타바르 요가
셈단 예당 라니 다 ndravami ba nyamde
열메 바
요레
Then the secret mantra vows are received when one receives empowerment. So the way to take the secret mantra vows is through receiving empowerment. It occurs through the process of the bestowal of empowerment. And in empowerment, there are the four levels of empowerment. There's the vase empowerment, the secret empowerment, the wisdom awareness of empowerment, and the word empowerment. And so when, in the context of secret mantra, it is through empowerment, these processes, the process of the four empowerments, that then the secret mantra vows or samayas take root in one's mind stream. And through the process of empowerment, also one confesses negativities and whatever downfalls. So also through the process of empowerment, there's the the repairment or the repair of any deteriorated vows. And one then merges with the Yidam deity. And so this is really kind of the heart of the secret mantra vows, is that one is never separate from the mind of the Yidam deity. And so this is most important. And all of the secret mantra vows can be subsumed into the Bodhichitta vows. So kind of the heart of the deity, or the heart or essence of the secret mantra vows, is Bodhichitta, or the Bodhichitta vows. And all of the Bodhichitta vows can be subsumed into the qualities or the love and compassion in one's mind stream. That's all.
Tani da sangha ke tamsek de pa yewa raw lapa ina yewa changkan raw lamna tani sayam bam la ko yore. Ta sayam bam de pe mesi ba ke changka chang chim mambo ro. Tani de ta ngarang su tara lo ke jek ni tana lama ta ba ina yang tani de chur du na tani zadong juvies 주기는 마더 요래. 자동 주기 때서 탐지에 양 철도 용바이나 상하가 담차에 희바데 되니 다 조치휴 때 ngaran 조치 예당 걸라라 담색 숭아 되는 더 연구요래 되는 예당 걸라 히바데당 되는 소소 그 자블라마 게비시니 되니 뭐 일마치바 차드요래 대한데 되니 다 담색 송 상학 담색 송 람데 다대 데라고요래
And so all of the secret mantra samayas, if counted, come out to be more than, I think it's 100 million, Sayabum, 100 million rebe. Like 100 million, and or we'll just say millions and millions. But if you subsume them, then they can be subsumed into the avoiding the 14 root downfalls. And then if you subsume that avoiding of the 14 root downfalls further, then all of the vows or samayas can be subsumed into the single vow or samaya of maintaining the samaya with the Yidam deity. And then that samaya with the Yidam deity can also be subsumed into upholding the samaya with one's root guru, because the root guru and the Yidam deity are indivisible in essence. They are of the same nature.
상하지 값서 되니 조치휴 다 줄을 송도와 줄존데 다 간다를 다낭랑 돈 조로고 요래 다낭 조원 바테 다제 다히 강라 제 휴바야 휴바나 인게 상하가 담색데 되니 나와 담제 라 단라모 되니 자 담제 나그란 인 딘도 조데다 semla kharba namto thamje teni chujiko ranyin tetawala tatbaina ko ranyin ke sanga ka tamse to songde ba chadu yorwa teni
Gongta the jinju the lu nga tang yila yang chasu
yela ta namto gang kharbaina de so chama chujiko ngor ta goyorwa te ta thop sona teni sanga ga domba rang yin ke song thop de yore
So, in the context of secret mantra practice, by the upholding the secret mantra samayas, then the way in which this is experienced is through the experience of all forms, or all that appears or seen, all that is seen as the pure expressions of male and female deities. So all appearances are the pure appearances of the male and female deities. And all that is heard and all speech is the inseparable union of sound and emptiness, the inseparability of sound and emptiness, or all speech is experienced as the nature of mantra. And then all that is experienced with or thought of, all that arises, all the thoughts that arise in the mind, become the pure display or expression of the Dharmakaya. So when thoughts, the essence of thoughts, are seen as the natural expression of the Dharmakaya, then one is upholding, then the vows of secret mantra are naturally upheld through sustaining this view, so through sustaining the view.
Oh, yeah, teni ta sangak dombokola teni saniki jini anjar je hyuge interain tutsu tana thokda teni tanan samya.
So we can discuss more then tomorrow or in the future about or the next time about the vows of secret mantra. And today we can close the session here.
Sunam de tamje zebani tovani bedana bazu Jega nanje balon roba zeba zolen roba yo Pama simjin damje dedan danger jengin ro damje dodo domar Chanchu zamba kanda zajo ba deda kunja molan roba yo Jamba ba jedan jamba Kunda zambo de an de jen de da kunja jesu da los Gewan da dan je rab do ngo chanjo sunjo rumbo je ma je panam ji je ji ba nyam ba me ba ye gon gon de be wa yo. Thank you very much.